I'm making more models from the Warhammer Quest Darkwater set, and you're watching Wargames Models and Other Hobbies. Hello and welcome back to another video. This is the third video in making the miniatures from Warhammer Quest Darkwater. In the last video I was making the Nurgle miniatures. The last one that I put together was this Blight Templar, and I'm going to jump straight in and start making the other ones. As these are all push fit models, all I'm using in this video is my scalpel and some clippers. And yeah, let's just get started. Now, as with the last video, this is real time. What you see is what you get. The only time there may be a break in the video is if there's a knock on the front door, my dog needs putting out, or there's a phone call, something like that. Other than that, what you see is what you get. And my aim in this video is to get the rest of the models from this box set put together, because I'd really like to have a game, and I'm going to go for a non-painted game initially just to see how it all works and everything. If you'd like to see that as a video, please drop it in the comments. Right, that one goes into there, and these Nurgle models really give me the kind of idea of some Warhammer 40,000 conversions, some Plague Marines or something like that, but I've only got these ones at the moment, so I can just dream about that. If they become available as a separate kit, it might be something worth thinking about. But then I'd have to start another Warhammer 40,000 army. Okay. That has got a hole slightly out of alignment. There we go. Oh. That's early for the first drop of the video. What you'll see, the pegs on here go in slots that aren't quite lined up. There we go. That's so I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to try and get my knife in there to reline that. That's really not wanting to go. Okay, let's have a look. Why is that not going there? Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to shave some of the end of that peg. Hopefully that will mean it pushes in. Yep, there we go. Let's get this bottom. You get one in. There we go. Let's zoom in a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, so there's the first bit. Now I need C16. They're really nicely detailed models, these ones. As I said in the last video, I'm not worrying too much about mould lines and things like that at the moment. If there's any really serious ones, before I paint them, I'll kind of tidy them up and everything, but you don't want to spend ages watching me do that on a video, so I'm not going to bother doing that right now. Let's see how this goes. So I'm aiming to get as many bits and pieces done in half an hour. Now, there are two identical sprues for some of the models in this kit, and what I've decided to do, rather than make all of those, if I've got the time I will, but if not, I'm just going to, there we go, do one set of them, and then oops, do the other ones off camera, because it's just making the same models over and over, and it's not what you guys really want to watch. Well, you might want to watch it. Now, I hope you like these real-time videos. I quite like producing them myself. There's that first guy there. Mainly because it allows people to see how long it actually takes to put these models together. I've watched many videos and tutorials where things suddenly get done without any real explanation, and I'm kind of a bit fed up of it. So I'm doing these real-time videos to let people see how long it actually takes. You can skip through it, you don't have to watch the whole thing. You can speed me up if you want to, that's fine as well. And if it's not your type of video, that's fine, don't worry about it. If there's anything you want me to specifically talk about while doing these videos, please drop it in the comments as well, as I'm quite happy to ramble on about all sorts of different things, hobby related and so on. So I've been doing this for quite some time, and I can answer questions, I can talk about lore, all sorts of different things. But entirely up to you guys what you want to hear. If I don't get any suggestions, you'll get me waffling for about half an hour while I put bits and pieces together. But maybe that's what you want, just in the background while you're doing your hobby. You've got someone else doing a hobby as well. Okay. But I'm actually intrigued to see in the new Warhammer Quest the single player options, as that is part of the game system. Now, it's sometimes difficult to get people to have a game. Either you might not live near people, the kind of tying up diaries and things like that can often be a pain, but having a single player option is quite nice. Okay, this is a few multi-parts for this weapon. Have a look. Yeah, I've been impressed so far with the models from this kit. One thing I would say is the Nurgle models have been a little bit trickier to kind of slot together, but other than that, I don't really have any complaints for this set. Okay. But always appreciate your thoughts as well. Sorry if I'm going off camera while I'm doing this. Okay, there's that guy. Let's get a base and that little thing there. Let's just put the empty sprue out of the way. It is quite nice the way that on these bases, when you've got the little hex hole in them, if a model doesn't use all of them, they... okay, that goes on there. Okay, cool. They produce little things like skulls or little twisted vines that go on there just to take up the room. Right, there we go. There is the last Blight Templar. So that's 3 in total. Let's have a quick look at those. So that was the one I did in the last video. There is the first one I did in this video, and there's the third one there. Really quite nice models, those ones. Right, let's carry on. So we're now on Shaman Foulhoof. Shaman Foulhoof. So it should be the parts left on this sprue here. So starting with B13 and 14. Okay. 13 and 14. Something that I'm going to have to sort out for all of these models from this Warhammer Quest is a way of storing them. Now, normally, I think it's Battle Foam or something similar. They produce an insert that goes in the box itself that holds everything. If that is on the horizon, I'll definitely pick something like that up, so it can all be kept in the box itself. Okay. Okay, so that is an arm that goes in to that top one there, I think. Was it that bottom one there? No, it is that top one. Okay, that peg has a slot in it, so that has to slot in the right way around. Okay, this one's a pain. How does that go at top? This one is a real pain. Okay, how does that sit? It sits round. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, right. So I've done that. Let's get B15, which is this bit here. It's got a long stalk on it, so I want to be careful of this one when I push it in. Okay, there we go. That's probably a nice piece. So let's get 16, which is this one just here. It is nice to be having time to do hobbying again. This is why I've done quite a few of these real-time videos, as it is just me doing hobby. I have seen a few comments about some of my earlier videos of whether I've done anything yet on painting and things like that, and I will do some painting videos again soon. Not sure which ones. Might be these ones, Might be one of my many other projects. Far too many, but hey, that's my hobby. I'm sure everyone else has piles and piles of things. I can't be the only one. Okay, so that slots on there. Let's get the base. There we go, there is the Shaman Foulhoof. Quite a nice model, that one, a lot of detail. I do have two other things on here, and I think that is from the very beginning of the instructions, which I kind of skipped when... No, don't know what those are. I'm sure they will become apparent at some other point. Oh yeah, at the very back. They just got some 25mm base. Right, I'll clip those off now and put them on some 25mm. Now, with all of these videos that I'm putting together, I'm trying to get a bit of a back catalogue, so when you're watching it, I'll have done it a few weeks prior. Main reason being, it gives a little bit of leeway if I don't have a chance to make any videos or do any hobby. As I'll have a bank of videos that I can put out. So sometimes you might see a video that feels a little bit out of date because something's come out quite a long time before. But that's just because of when I record it and when I put it out there. But for me, that doesn't really matter. If you're patient with that, thank you very much. Okay, so now let's go on to the Pestigors. So this is, let me zoom out so you can see that. This is the sprue that is duplicated. So for all of the things that I'm now going to produce, it's only going to be one of the two possibilities rather than doing all of them. So I'll start with, actually what I am going to do, let's do a split sprue. And let's look for E2 and E1. So it's these ones in the corner. Let's zoom in again. There we go. Yeah, I think I'll get some of these done in this video. If I don't get all of them done, I won't do another video on making these. It's pretty much going to be just the same over and over from this point on. But I will do a video on having a look at how the one player stuff works. Now, I might have a look at it first and then do a video, depending on its complexity. Oh, there's some ugly mould lines on this. I'm going to have to sort those out now rather than leave them. But yeah, I've got so many things that I'm working on that I'll be able to do so many varied videos. Okay, so that goes in there like that. A little bit of a twist on that, there we go. So the only option on this is one of the weapon hands, so everything else is the same. So E3 is that header there. clean this up a little bit. Yeah, this has some horrid mould lines on it and things, so. Why is that not working? Oh, I might have snipped a bit of the peg off. No, that's okay. That's cool. Okay. Yeah, be careful when you're snipping the pegs that you don't cut them off completely. Right. E6. There we go. Oh, so everything's in this corner. Okay. They've positioned all of this very close to each other, so that's going to make putting these together a little bit easier. And E4 is over here. Quite interesting shields, these ones. This one has a selection of severed heads. There's the arm on the back, so there's the shield there. Right, so I've got two options now, E7 and E8. So it is either the hammer or the large axe halberd style thing. I'm going to go with number order, so I'll do this one as 7, and then the other one I'll put together as 8. Okay, actually that is an awful mould line on there. So the character models, mould lines weren't that bad, but these minions of Nurgle, they are a little bit shit. But hey, okay, first negative thing that I've said about all of these. Oh, I've missed something as well. I've missed his arse off. So I will. Let's find that. That is E5. There we go. It's not his arse, it's a loincloth. Or a butt cloth. What am I talking about? Okay, there we go. And this is a 32mm base, which is one of these ones. So oh, okay. Yeah, that's another bit that's not that good. So the leg that has the peg on it on this one is also the leg that is pegged into the back of another one. So then it just twisted itself off. So there's something to keep an eye out for. So let's carefully try and... This one's a little bit annoying. There we go. Okay, so that one's... Yeah, mould lines and a bit of a annoying leg, that one. So there's that one. Let's jump on to the next one. Still got time to do a few of them. So there is that one. So now this is E10 and E9. So there is E9. Yeah, the mould lines are actually, looking at this one, not that good, which is a bit of a shame, as the rest of the kit has been pretty good. And there's 10. So they probably churn these ones out a lot. And looking at this sprue, it does give the vibes that it's going to be a release for Age of Sigmar. Because you get 1, 2, yeah, you get enough for a squad out of 2 of them, I think, a unit. Okay, that is, yeah, not impressed with that. Wow, look at that. That's a shame. Hey ho. Right, this has got 2 peg holes. Okay, there's that one. Let's get 11 and 12. There's 11. And 12. Ooh. So this one, the option on this one is the shield or the weapon. Well, the shield and the weapon. So that does give you the option of quite a bit of flexibility if this was released as a separate kit, as this one model has 4 different variations. Although I have to say the pegs on these models are a bit of a pain in the arse. Hey ho. Every kit isn't going to be perfect, is it? Okay. So let's go with 13 and 15 for the weapons on this one. Seam lines are, they've eaten into the time a little bit, haven't they? Okay, which way around does that go? There we go. And a lot to clean up on that, never mind. Another 32mm base. Right, for this video, I'm going to call that. Still got quite a few. How many have we got left to do? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 more models. I'll do another video. But for now, yeah, we'll call it as that. Let's have a look at the bits and pieces that are put together. So we have these Blight Templars. Then got the Shaman Foulhoof. Then got 2 of the Pestigors done. They're alright models. Shame about those mould lines, but that's alright. And then the last 2 little things, they are tokens. So we have a sword in what looks like the head of a beast of Nurgle, or a little great unclean one. And then an axe being held by a tentacle. Right. I will sort the thumbnail out for this. For now, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I will do one more. But for now, all I can say is thank you so much for tuning in. My name's John, and you've been watching Wargames, Models, and Other Hobbies.